I'm actually a huge introvert, so imagine being a podcast for a living.
Yeah, it's like fantastic. Yeah.
It wasn't like a planned thing, I guess. I just watched podcasts growing up and really liked some of them, and I feel like I wanted to try it myself when I had the time.
Hi, I'm Erik Weir, and thank you for joining for another episode of Stuttering Your Way to Success. There is no success without setback. I'm here with my friend Sean Kelly. Sean, so wonderful to have you on.
Thanks for coming, man. Full circle moment.
Absolutely. You've gone from launching a podcast, starting from scratch, to having the #1 self-improvement podcast out there with 12 million followers. First of all, whatever got you into having a podcast in the first place?
I know, crazy for me because I'm actually a huge introvert, so imagine being a podcast for a living.
Yeah, it's like fantastic. Yeah.
It wasn't like a planned thing, I guess. I just watched podcasts growing up and really liked some of them, and I feel like I wanted to try it myself when I had the time.
Yeah. And you've had crazy guests. I mean, you name it, you've had them. So, and how did you attract a guest?
Yeah, 1,200 guests, and had to work my way up. They didn't come from day one. I'd say some big ones started happening maybe 6 months in. So I had to work my way up. But I also had a lot of good connections since I took Reputation serious growing up, and always did good business by people. Showed up to events, got the best tickets, and just built a network that way.
Wow, wow. So if there was a guest that you wanted to have on, is there a technique or a way that you would try to get closer or to have an ability to get in front of that guest?
Yeah, multiple techniques. It's not one set formula, but for Gary Brecka, I had his wife on first, Sage, who was wonderful.
Yeah.
Episode went viral, so she probably put in a good word, and I was able to get him on that way. Grant Cardone, I just cold emailed.
Is that right?
Yeah. He actually responds pretty quick. Same with, I haven't had Mark Cuban on yet, but I heard he responds to his emails very fast.
Oh, good.
Had a few people get in touch with him. And then some people I just cold DM. Some people I meet at networking events, conferences, random events. So it's a mix of everything.
That's wild. How do you balance your creativity with your business mind?
I'm pretty logical, but creativity comes and goes, but my fiance is actually more the creative.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm actually more just about numbers, data, and logic.
Interesting. So how do you work with the algorithm to find an ideal outcome?
I use AI. I definitely study the algorithms on social media because they're changing ever so often. And with the election over now, we'll see what's going to go viral, because the past month I've been milking the political stuff on the show.
Okay.
Yeah, the clips have been getting a lot of views, but now that Trump's elected, we'll see what kind of goes viral. And you got to be on top of that.
How has AI changed technology or changed media?
Made everything easier. Things are faster. You could have spent 10 hours researching a guest before. Now you could get away within 1 to 2 hours with AI. So that's how I've been able to film so many episodes.
Yeah. Now, do you have an average duration of your episode?
Yeah, I played around with it. I've filmed anywhere from 15, 20-minute episodes all the way up to, I think my longest was an hour and a half. But it depends on the guest, depends on the flow of the show. So it's not a set formula. I kind of just go until I feel like the conversation's getting kind of stale.
Okay. That's awesome. So what's next for you?
I'm going to be podding for a while, man. I want to catch the world record, which is 2,500 episodes set by Joe Rogan, the GOAT of podcasting. So I'm not stopping until I at least hit that. But I could see myself doing this for a while. So we'll see what happens after.
So one of the things we talk about is there's no success without setback or struggle. Have you faced any setbacks along the way?
Yeah, with podcasting, not any huge ones yet, knock on wood, but definitely in general with business. I made money and lost it all twice.
Oh, really? What happened?
Millions of dollars. Just getting too in over my head, investing and spreading myself out too thin. Made a couple really bad investments and lost it all.
Oh, wow.
Twice.
How did that make you feel?
First one kind of sucked because I had a couple $100K to my name at the time, and I was just moving to Vegas actually. And because my credit was so bad and I had barely any money, no one would give me a place to rent. So I had to put down 6 months of rent to get a house out here 4 years ago. And that 6 months was all the money I had left in my bank account.
No way. That was a bold move.
Yeah, it's 25 grand. So I had to literally
25 grand?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I had to work because the rent was $4K a month. So I had to put down 6 months.
Wow.
And that wiped me clean, man. So I had to really hustle when I moved out here.
Yeah. That's it. So do you have a ritual or anything that you do to keep motivated or to keep centered?
I'm really on top of my health. So yeah, I'd say sauna. I try to ground. I try to have some just quiet alone time. Since I am a really big introvert, that's how I recharge, spending time alone. But I'm super holistic and big on physical health. I get blood work done. I get brain scans. I get MRIs. I get all that. Even though I'm 27, which is probably young for most people to start doing that stuff, I think it's really important.
So how do you manage stress?
Used to manage it terribly. I used to get panic attacks, anxiety attacks, freak out. I've gotten way better. Now I can almost feel it as it's coming on, where before I wouldn't notice I was stressed till it was too late. So I think it was a mindset thing, just being aware of it, because they don't really teach you about anxiety and stress and dealing with that kind of stuff as a man, you know? So just talking with the right people. A lot of entrepreneurs have to deal with stress and anxiety. It's part of the game. And being able to relate to people about problems, I think, helps a lot. Having that network of guys you could talk to if you're stressed out.
Do you have a process that you have to determine a guest or to determine your next business steps? Or
Guess, yeah, kind of. It's like you got to follow the trends. So you got to play that game on social media. I'm constantly studying my algorithm, seeing what type of content and who is going viral. I'm studying other shows, seeing which guests are getting the most views on those shows.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And then hitting up those people, because numbers don't lie. So you want to just follow what's working and put your own twist on it.
Have you had some business sort of like, I call them like your I'm like, oh, wow, it made sense. Have you had something like that happen in the podcast where it's like it was a breakthrough for you emotionally or business-wise?
I used to be an absolute machine. I used to block out 30-minute episodes with each guest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I would be back to back for 6 hours straight. But now I block out an hour each guest, because I realize the value is the relationship you're building with the guest.
Okay.
Rather than just try to churn them in and out, in and out. So that to me has been amazing, because now I'm getting to know these guests on a personal level, on a business level. I'm doing other side businesses with them. I'm not just having them on and kick them out right after they come on.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that was a game changer. And then I'd say just like, don't stick to one genre, because it started off as a marketing podcast.
Did it really?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was how it started. And you can only grow so much within that space. I wouldn't be able to reach the masses as a marketing podcast.
Interesting.
So my impact is a lot greater now that I cover everything.
Okay. Do you have any books in your future? Or?
It's probably on my bucket list, yeah. I'll add that to the bucket list. Write a book one day.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, it'd be fantastic. Maybe you've done so much already. Do you have mentors that you look up to that you'd be able to learn things from?
Definitely, yeah. I have different kinds. Some are just like people I watch on YouTube or podcasts. So that could be a form of just mentorship, even though they don't know me personally. I consider that they're my teacher. And then some I have, where I could just text them, and I have them in multiple different aspects of life, not just business.
Okay, fantastic.
It's like $100. I would feed 200 people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we'd go to Costco and make sandwiches, peanut butter jelly, whatever. Doesn't have to be expensive, but and then just note how you feel in that moment and see if you want to keep doing it. And then, it could go to a much bigger level from there.
How did that change you when you're serving somebody else? I mean, that's a big step. It's a really creative way to do it. It's very selfless, but you also, it's kind of interesting because you're getting a reward almost because you feel good, you're helping somebody else. So
feel amazing.
Yeah,
you feel incredible. So it's honestly, but being selfish is a fear-based mindset. So you got to be careful with that. I try not to be making decisions based off fear.
That's fantastic. So if somebody's in fear, do you have any steps that they could follow to get out of fear?
A lot of it's the people around you, man. So if you're in fear right now, most likely the people around you are too, from what I've studied.
Right.
That's how I grew up too. A lot of fear, and that's normal in America. There's programming everywhere on TV, on social media. Right. So you got to be really conscious what you're listening to, who you're hanging out with. And I think if you could make those changes, it should go away over time.
Wow. How important is it? I know, I mean, you're on Instagram, you're on various platforms, and your show is informing, it's educating people. But a lot of shows aren't. I mean, how much content should somebody take in? And should you be thoughtful of the age that people have access to certain content? Yeah,
my audience is super young. But I try to let my audience decide how they feel about the guests. I have on both sides. So like whether it's politics, business, health, I have on multiple perspectives, and I let my audience decide on where they stand. Most shows will only share one side. So that's interesting. That's where I think the downfall of most shows are.
Oh, absolutely. Does that help your algorithm when you see somebody who have completely different viewpoints, and how does that benefit?
For me, yeah. I mean, if you go on my Instagram, My audience is mainly conservative, 80%, but whenever I have on a liberal or a Democrat, yeah, it gets insane engagement.
Oh, that's fantastic.
But I think that's good because at least you could find some common ground.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So what are your biggest goals now?
So I hold up the number 3 in every photo. Most people don't know why, but I want to be a top 3 podcast in the world.
Oh, interesting. You're huge now to 12 million or so followers.
Yeah.
What would top 3 look like?
Top 3 would be up there with Rogan. I'd say Lex Friedman and I wouldn't know who. Tim Ferriss used to be really big. I'm not sure if he's still top 3, but I got some work to do.
Mm-hmm. How are you changing your technique from when you first started your marketing? You mentioned that already, but how are you different than you were maybe a year or even 2 years ago?
Oh, it's changed a lot, man. You look at my old episodes, you wouldn't recognize me. I filmed on blurry iPhones. I was not confident. My health sucked. My spirituality, I was atheist at the time, wasn't there. And I knew a lot less than I know now.
So what changed? How'd you move from becoming an atheist to a non-atheist?
Yes, man, podcasting. So I have on these people, they tell me all this stuff, and then I go home that night and look into it more and more.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So how much of your life would you say have been impacted by you actually interviewing as many people as you have?
Oh, it's changed me completely. Yeah. And that's a great thing about podcasting. Even if you don't make money off it, just the knowledge that's going to change your life that you're learning from these amazing guests. I mean, I just had on Graham Hancock last week.
Interesting.
He's the #1 ancient civilization expert in the world.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So you can learn about that all the way from that to the lead pastor at Mosaic, Erwin McManus, came on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I've learned from him and he's changed my view on religion. So it's just like, you don't get these opportunities if you're just consuming the same content all day.
That's fantastic, and your show is super diverse. So is I know it's by design, but who does your programming?
Honestly, I have editors that handle it all. I just focus on what I want to focus on, which is filming and preparing for the guest. So that's pretty much the only things I'll do. Everything else I try to outsource because I don't enjoy it as much.
Oh, interesting. So do you have things that when you hire somebody to join your team, are there attributes or characteristics that you look for in a person?
I don't care about college degrees, actually. I just look for them on a personal level. I like some experience, but really it's just like how I feel around them.
Okay. How important is it for you to work with somebody who may have had struggles in their life that they overcame?
I like that. Yeah. I've hired a fair share of those, actually. You met one of them today. And that to me is usually a good sign, if anything.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you're moving ahead and you are beginning to influence so many people, do you ever have thoughts about like, boy, I'm having a much bigger platform. I'm making differences in people's lives. How does it make you feel? Definitely
good. I see the bad sides of it too, but I think it's doing more good than bad. But yeah, it comes with hate when you get a lot of views and you're going to be under the public eye. So expect that. It's inevitable.
How did you respond the first time you had like the hate and the anger?
I used to not even I don't respond to it at all. But sometimes I'll take their feedback and implement it. Like there was an episode a couple of weeks ago, it got 2 million views and almost all the comments were negative. So I was like, okay, let me evaluate where I can improve here. Because if multiple people are saying it, I probably could do better. So I took those changes.
Okay.
So I actually did follow their advice, but I usually don't even respond.
Oh, interesting. So when you were dealing with anxiety before, now obviously you have a better handle on it now, would an adverse comment impact you more before than it does today?
Oh, yeah. I would get decimated. I would go to my room and curl up like a ball. Like, yeah, I was not in a good spot probably 5-10 years ago. But these days, I don't know if it like the thick skin comes with it over time or something, but I'm definitely pretty immune to it.
What advice would you have for somebody who's struggling with that, like their personal perception, their view of themselves, self-identity?
Mine was before I even started doing content. I was just so fearful of what would happen if I put myself out there. So I felt vulnerable. So I think that's a lot of people where they're just scared to take that first step. So I would at least try that. No one even was hating on me at first. Like it was all in my head.
Wow. You know, as I said and talked to you, there's so many people who put limits on themselves. They don't give themselves permission to dream.
Yeah.
What was it that made you say, hey, I'm just going to contact this person? Because some people are saying, listen to the show, like he just I am somebody. Like, I would never think of doing that 10 years ago. I would never do that. They're thinking, or how do you mean? Because you're an introvert. So to make the jump from being an introvert to to direct messaging, Mark Cuban or somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a big leap. I mean, how do you do that?
Yeah, rejection's part of the game. Even now, even though my show is huge, I still get rejected every week. So I just look at it as a numbers game. Like, okay, when you're starting out, you're going to get a ton of rejections, and you don't want to take it personally. You want to use that as motivation, because maybe 2 years down the road, your show's bigger and they'll say yes. Don't take it as a rejection that's permanent. You know what I mean? I've had guests that rejected me at first and come on the show later as we got bigger.
Really?
Yeah, that's happened many times.
Do they forget that they rejected you? I mean, is it like
maybe some of them? Okay. I mean, you can't take it personally though, because think about it from their point of view. They're getting pitched to go on 100 podcasts a week,
right? And
they're going to go on the biggest ones. Why would they waste time going on someone with 50 views?
Right. Yeah.
So I get it from their point of view. So that's fine. Yeah, don't take it personal. It's going to happen in any business, not even just podcasts.
Wow. How has your being an introvert or very logical helped you in this environment?
I think with just that, like, I don't take things personally. I'm sure some hosts would take that personally if a guest rejected them, and they probably would never hit them up again to come on. I don't know.
Right.
But for me, it's just, okay, I try to look at their perspective because I'm logical. I'm like, okay, why are they making this decision? Let me see if there's a fix for that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So I think that mindset has helped me.
How do you set goals, and how do you break them down into steps?
I don't have a set formula. I very much live in the present. I do like to think about the future from time to time. I think that's important too. But for the most part, I'm in the present. I'm like, all right, what am I doing today?
Oh, interesting. And do you plan out like next year, like you want to have, X hundred of podcasts in the next year? Do you plan that out, or do you just kind of say, I have good energy now, and I want to be, let's say Formula One's in town. So I know a lot of people are in town. I'm going to work really hard this week when Formula One's here or something.
Yeah, we do plan around big events. So when a big conference is in town, I'll film a lot that week. I'll go to one new city a week, film there.
Oh, interesting. And now, is that new? Because I don't think you did that.
That's new. I've been doing it for 6 months. I'm doing South by Southwest in Austin next year. There's a health conference in Vegas this year in December, so I'll be doing that. And then I've done other cities in LA and stuff. And yeah, that's been working well. So I plan around those. And then revenue-wise, I just want to keep that going up every year. So we've doubled from the first year this year, which is great. So next year, hopefully we could double again, or maybe 1.5x. We'll see.
Right.
But yeah, goals are definitely important, and I do vision boards every year as well.
Okay. Now, would you explain? Everybody may not know what a vision board is. Explain what a vision board is.
I'm old school. Well, I do the one on digital too, but I get magazines, cut them out, paste them on a vision board, post that in my office right by my desk, so I see it every day.
So that's a way of reinforcing your goal. Like I said, I wanted to say buy a car, just as an example. Then you see that picture every day, or
and every
go on a trip or whatever.
Yeah, 100%. And every year I reflect at the end, and I'm like, holy crap, I accomplished almost all these things.
Isn't interesting?
Yeah,
interesting.
You're subconscious.
Yeah, I've heard it said, just the act of writing your goals down is, many people do an annual plan, but they never look at it again.
Yeah.
But they'll go back 9 or 10 months later and say, I've accomplished a lot of this, but they took that time to write. Isn't that crazy? How that works?
That's why I write gratitude every day too.
Oh, you write great. Tell me about that. That's powerful.
Yeah, every day the past 3-4 years, 5 to 10 things I'm grateful for.
Interesting. How does that impacted you?
There's a lot of studies on gratitude now. So they're actually proving how it impacts you, which is crazy, because before it was considered woo-woo, just like a spiritual thing.
Right.
But now it actually has been proven to, I believe, lower cortisol and a bunch of other stuff.
This is something different. I've heard people say, I think about gratitude, or I think of things I'm grateful for. You said, I write gratitude, if I heard you correctly, right? Why is that important to write gratitude instead of just think about it, or just, look at a board you're grateful for?
I think it's an extra step. Yeah, you can think about it. That's another method. But for something about writing it, man, it's like another step, and it's ingrained in your memory somehow.
Yeah, that's powerful. Now, you hear people all the time talk about, hey, I'd love to be a podcaster. I'd love to have a career in social media, but I don't really know how to do that.
Yeah.
Are there ways to kind of learn more quickly?
Yeah, I get asked that almost every day. How do I get more followers? How do I get started? For me, it's like more the intention. I feel like that's the wrong question. It's like, okay, why do you want to do that? And based off that answer, I'll know if they're going to make it or not, to be honest. If they just want to be famous, like that's not
a driver.
That's not going to work, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And if somebody has good content or they have something that they like, are there ways to monetize that? Because you'll see some people will have a show and they're just kind of eating it. They're just like, they're not monetizing anything because they're just trying to deliver quality. Other people, you can tell they're really trying to monetize it probably more than they ought to, right? Yep. So they're just really, it's all about business for them. Is there a balance or is there a way to even start to
I'm still figuring that out too. I lost money the first 6 months of the show. So podcasting is one of the hardest spaces to make money in. So if you're trying to start one for money, I would run away from that. I wouldn't start a podcast unless you had a safety net behind you. Yeah, because it's not cheap to start a podcast.
Right.
You know.
Right.
All the editing, the video equipment, and everything. So there's much better industries if you're just starting out with no money, in my opinion.
So a gutsy move. I got to go back to the 25. That just blows me away. $25,000.
Yeah.
You came. What did you do the next day? You're like, oh my gosh, I'm broke. All my money's here. I've got a place to live, but I have no food to eat. I don't know what you're driving or not driving at the time, and you've got to get a hustle. And if I heard you moved to a new town, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't have a big network locally.
None.
I mean, that's a gutsy move.
Yeah, I didn't know anyone when I came to Vegas.
And you're an introvert. So on top of that,
I just stayed on my couch for months straight, researching how to make money online, talking to people I met at events, and that's when I stumbled across crypto.
Okay.
And that's where just timing and fate and destiny kicks in, because I could have stumbled across crypto when it was much later and more expensive, but I caught it right at the bear market.
Okay.
So who can control stuff like that?
You can't. You can't. So is crypto here to stay? You know, people. There's all these debates. The Warren Buffetts of the world would say they put no value on it. To quote him, he would say, "Farmland, I know I can have a yield, and with crypto, I'm reliant upon, it may have a finite supply, but somebody else buying it at a higher price, or supply and demand, economics." And I'm sure you've thought about this a lot. But in your guests, obviously, or for the most part, they're very pro crypto.
Yeah.
So what do you see the future of crypto?
I mean, I made and lost a ton in crypto, so I could see both sides of that. It's super volatile. There's been days where I'm down millions. I've lost over 10 million in crypto. That was the second time I lost everything. So it's part of the game. But I think the top coins are here to stay for now, unless something major happens. Bitcoin hit an all-time high today.
Yeah, I saw that.
$76,000.
Wow. It's a big move. It's a huge move. And it was like, I must be close to a 10%, 8 or 9% move today.
Yeah. And that's normal in crypto. It could go the other way too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but with Trump getting in office, everyone's excited. So crypto with Trump is usually a pretty good sign.
Okay, fantastic. And if Bitcoin would halves every 3.5 years or so like that. So
I think that's coming up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, as we prepare to end, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our guest about? Our whole thing is about there's no success without a setback along the way. We look for ways to be encouraging, reinforcing. Your gratitude is just fantastic to hear that, and your focus. You're taking a risk. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
No, thanks for giving me this platform, man. I've had on some interesting guests. One of my guests actually had a huge stutter.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And it really inspired me to just get as many different perspectives as possible.
That
was one of the toughest episodes I've had to film, but I think it's going to impact a lot of people.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, thanks for doing that. It's powerful. It was a funny story. I was interviewed by Stuttering Magazine, and I had a stutter that was bad. And it was probably the only interview I gave that I didn't stutter. So I felt like I'm a fake. I'm in your picture. I'm highlighted the stutterer of the month. Like Ed Sheeran's been on, all these different actors have been on. And I'm like, I didn't stutter. I'm like, sorry about that. It's funny. Well, thank you, Sean Kelly. Thank you so much for being on my show today. Real pleasure, and it was an honor to be on your show. It's a super big honor for me to have you on mine. So
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Absolutely
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Sean.
Boom.